This is my baby.
This is my baby. Hi, baby.
Stand by, please. Electric sound, wardrobe, wig, stage management, stage crew, flyers, and all technical departments.
Welcome to Leave the Ghost Light On.
Kind of love it. Look at us. We look kind of hot today.
Pretty good today.
I know. Usually, I mean, not that we look bad most days, but like,
I don't know what I need to
your hair looks so vibrant. Did you just redo it?
I did.
Nice. That is gorgeous. I love that red. I just had to bleach out my ends.
You had to get rid of the purple.
Oh, yeah. But it's because I just did mermaiding, but yesterday, and
Gotcha.
I was like, I'm not supposed to have it. I will get a write-up. It'll be easy. I literally left the bleach in my hair for less than 5 minutes, and it just.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because it was just like, it was just vibrant enough, but also just light enough that like literally I bleached this side, and by the time I got to this side was done. So
nice.
I only used like 10 developer. So
wow.
Yeah. I was like, thank God. Well, one bonus of re-recording this episode is that now our stuff is up to date.
Oh, that's
like,
also true.
Like our chat's not going to be 2 months old.
That's also true.
Exactly. Yep, we had to re-record this one, everybody, because Jill fucked up her mic. Luckily, I liked this one, so I'm okay.
And for the record, that was Jill saying that Jill fucked up her mic. That was not Danica calling Jill out for people who are still confused as to whose voice belongs to whom.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You're a moron and you fucked up your... No, I don't.
No! We're nicer than that to each other.
Typically.
We actually like each other. Oh my gosh, what are you drinking? That looks yummy.
It is Alamos Malbec.
Ooh, Malbec. You know, Malbec is not a wine that I actually like yet.
I really like it. I think it's because I like Cab so much that it's a really easy transition into this one. And now it's like the Argentinian Malbecs for like, I don't know why, but I think the Argentinian ones are the best. So that's why I like Alamos. And I like is it Casa del Diablo? Something of the devil.
Okay.
I feel like it's Casa del. Yeah.
I feel like wine is fun because, like, you know, I mean, with everybody, but I remember I did a wine tour in Australia and they told me that, like, especially for women, like, your palate changes over time, which is why when you're young, you want the nasty sweet stuff. And then
I love Viognier. I'm like, if I ever drink Viognier or Chardonnay again, shoot me. Like, ew.
Oh, I still like Chardonnay. No, but my family still makes fun of me for liking Moscato, and I'm like, yeah, I liked Moscato when I was 21. I don't like it anymore. Leave me alone.
Right, exactly.
So I'm going through my wine journey.
Really likes rosé, and I'm like, I only like rosé champagne. Like,
see,
I don't
rosé.
like.
Rosé is still my thing. I don't know why. There's something about it, but no, I think for white wines, I think for white wines, well, and I like dry rosé, but I think for white wines now, I only drink Chardonnay. So
I pretty much only stick to Sauvignon Blanc because it's dry. No, even like with ciders and other stuff that I drink, I only like dry stuff. Like I can't really do sweet anymore.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's a wine bar in White River Junction where Northern Stage is. And so I feel like I've been like trying to like try.
I think I've heard of this place.
I think you have too, because I talked about it a lot because I went there a lot. And I will be going there a lot. Speaking of which, I just want $100 gift card to there.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Because sorry, this is really random. They went on like a big trip to Napa. and took like all of their people and everything. And so they had a contest where they were like, guess how many glasses of wine we drank in 2 days between all of us. And I was one number off.
Damn.
And so I won $100. It was
what was the number?
It was 323.
Between how many people?
8 people.
That's the life, man.
That's
oh my
freaking dream.
That's
incredible.
My gosh. Wow.
But yeah, so I guess 324. So I want $100.
Ooh.
Anyway, it's a pretty good place. So I feel like I've been getting to like try more and more things and expand my palette. So
last night, oh my god, Josh made me a homemade beef bulgogi, and it was fucking unreal. Like better than I've had in any restaurant. Like hands down, easy.
Is he a good chef?
Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, oh, yeah. Your tattoo is on full display right there, by the way. No, you're
oh, which one? This one?
Yeah.
My ghost light.
Your ghost light. Twilight Zone.
I don't know why. I have no idea.
That's what I used to do. Is I used to sing the Twilight Zone to you.
It kind of fits.
Oh man. All right. Well, shall we jump into this re-recording?
Yes, but I was also going to say, can you tell the people about this contract you just signed?
Which one?
The one in Maine.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool. Because I'm going back to Northern Stage for 2.5 months. But yes, I just signed a 5-month contract with a Gun Quit Playhouse again. And I'm going to be a carpenter/welder up there.
Hell yes.
Which will hopefully make me extremely marketable. So I'm excited. Gonna be so much fun. I know, I'm excited, and Juniper is going to come with me for both of those contracts. So
good.
Yeah, but yeah, that's exciting. I finally got my summer stock all squared away. They gave me a little bit more money than I thought I was going to get. So
and on top of that good news, I also have my good news that I officially have 12 people, which is the absolute minimum I can take for Prague.
Are you going back to Prague?
I'm going to Prague. I'm going back to Prague. And I actually have another one signing up. So I will have 13.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting because we haven't talked about that yet. I wasn't sure if you were going back or not.
No, none of us were. But yes, it is now officially official, and I have 13.
Okay, well, we have to talk about where I'm going to meet you this time because we need to do that again.
Oh, fuck yes.
Can we please do that again?
Oh my god. Yes, especially because so my mom and my aunt are planning to meet me in Prague, or like come with me for the first week before I start in Prague. And then Josh is going to meet me at the end of the program in Prague. And maybe we don't know what we're doing after that yet. So
maybe because I don't know, we'll see. Like I said, send me your dates, but maybe because I'm going to also be doing summer stock stuff, maybe I can come in the middle and be there, like be at Prague while you're doing stuff.
You need to come to Prague. Like fucking dude, it's oh my god, it's so gorgeous.
You know what? I'll come to Prague and then I'll also join you and Josh wherever you go. Yeah, no, because whenever I sign my contract, I should be able to tell them, like, hey, yes, I'm coming. Also, though, I have to take off these certain dates.
Yes. So do it. Yes. Good.
Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Okay, we'll talk about that more later. So
I don't know what's going on with my hair, but I'm actually kind of a fan.
I know, I kind of like it too. You got a messy bun going on.
Weird little bloppy bun thing.
It would be nice if we could go back to Edinburgh, but I don't think we're going to be able to financially do that.
It was a lot.
It was so much. I mean, if we could go back as presenters, maybe, but I don't think it's financially going to happen. So, but that's fine because we'll just go somewhere new.
That's right. Ooh. Oh, we have so many options. Oh my god!
Look at us having summer plans and having our lives together.
Making the money, doing our thing.
We're so cool and good at our jobs. That's our new theme song. Well, on that bombshell, let's talk about theaters.
Woo! Let's do it.
All right. So hopefully, I don't know about you, but I feel like because we recorded this about like a month or two ago, I don't remember yours very well. So I'm hoping it's the
And
same thing for
neither
you with
do
me.
I. I don't remember yours
Perfect.
like almost at all.
Yeah. So hopefully it's gonna like we'll vibe
Like,
the
oh my
same
god,
or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah. So
Woo.
okay. So mine, like I said, I remember really liking this one, so I'm okay with recording it again. But I am going to be talking about the Richmond Theater. Um, and not to give away exactly what it's going to be, but I have the tragedy, obviously. This
Yeah.
is going to be one of my first actual proper theater fire stories. So,
Woo.
because I usually do weird ones like the circus or something like
Right.
that. So, but yeah. Okay,
Oh
so
man.
the Richmond Theater is the original. There's been a lot of different ones, actually. That's what I remember about this now. The Richmond Theater was built in 1806, yeah, in Richmond, Virginia, and is just north of where Capitol Square now sits.
Mm.
However, this was not the first Richmond Theater, and it wasn't the last either.
This part I do remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Vaguely.
So the first Richmond Theater was actually built in 1786 and was originally called the Academy of Fine Arts and Science of the United States. And it was founded by a Frenchman whose name I will not be trying again because that was embarrassing to hear myself
Oh no,
say.
I totally want to try it.
Why you do this to me? Let's see.
Fun.
His name was Xavier Quince de Bois Quince.
I mean, without seeing it written down, I have to assume you're right.
You know what I did? I looked at all the letters and I was like, I'm going to say a quarter of those.
That's correct. That is how French works. That's absolutely true.
Okay, anyway, so back to the first Richmond Theater, who was founded by this Frenchman whose name I cannot pronounce. The Frenchman served as an officer in the American Revolutionary War, and he intended to create an American organization that mirrored one of France's French academies of science. And he
That
just
makes sense.
wanted to create something new. However, as I said, it opened in 1786 and it ceased operation in 1787. So it did not last very long. America was like, no, we don't want science. We want religion.
That's still true today.
I know, right? So the theater was then remodeled and renamed the Richmond Theater by the theater managers Thomas Wade West and John Begall. The theater was host to the Virginia Ratifying Convention of 1788 and had a capacity, and had a
I forgot
capacity
about
of
that.
6. Huh? Oh, yes.
I totally
But it
forgot.
had so they had this at the theater because it had a capacity of over 1,600 people, which was more than what the Virginia Capitol building had.
Good Lord.
So I don't know if you remember this, but so fun fact, the Virginia Ratifying Convention is literally the things that they talk about in Hamilton and everything. So in Hamilton in Nonstop, it does the whole like Alexander joined forces with James Madison and John Jay to write a series of essays defending the new United States called the Federalist Papers. That's what was happening, is that they were discussing the Federalist Papers. So
okay, yes, because I remember last time we recorded this, and we were like, and Hamilton wrote
the other 51
or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
The iconic part of Hamilton, if anybody knows. He's just really into it.
Like you're running out of time.
Running out of time. Such a good song. What a show. What a great freaking show. So anyway, like I said, that was it was less theatery and more for conventions and whatnot. However, though, it's not documented, but the Richmond Theater was then destroyed by a fire on January 23rd in 1798.
Sure.
So no documentation of it. So hopefully that means that no one dies.
Right. Yes. That is the hope.
That is the hope. So then they built the second Richmond Theater, which was built through the advocacy of John Marshall. It was built on the exact same site as the original Richmond Theater. However, this time they put in an orchestra section, a balcony, an upper balcony, and lots of narrow doorways.
Yeah, I love where that's gone.
Oh man.
It's
So it
almost like there might be some foreshadowing there.
there might be some foreshadowing. Who knows? So this version of the Richmond Theater opened January 25th, 1806 and ran pretty successfully.
Oh, that's
It
Odin, by the
was
way. Here's Odin
Hi,
for everybody who's
Odin.
watching.
A beautiful
He has
little
chimera eyes. He has one blue and one brown eye.
I love
He's very
that.
cute. Anyway,
Ugh, I love that.
so
No, you're fine. So the theater was taken over and led by Thomas Cooper, who first appeared in Richmond with the title role of William Shakespeare's Hamlet. And so the Richmond Theater began kind of putting on lots of Shakespeare over the years, including Othello, Macbeth, and Richard III, and all that fun stuff.
What years was that again?
That was 1806.
Okay, yeah. Back when, Shakespeare was finally starting to come back into vogue. Yeah.
Exactly. But they did also put what? What'd you say? Romanticism.
Neoclassicism. Yes.
Exactly. So this theater put on a lot of Shakespeare. However, though, it also put on a lot of new works and a lot of different types of shows. Specifically, we are going to talk about the performance on the evening of December 26, 1811, which was a double show night, which I think sounds crazy because that means you were at the theater for like 6 hours.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No. So the first show was a show called Family Feuds, and the second show was called The Bleeding Nun. And I remember that I gave you a description of these shows because they were just so ridiculous. So,
but I also love that my first thing is like when you say Family Feuds, I'm imagining like Drew Carey, but it's a play version of just the game show.
Well, didn't you know that? Drew Carey was born in 1806.
Obviously, he's a vampire.
He is a vampire. You know, I've heard that he's not very nice, so that makes sense.
Valid.
Anyway, okay, so the first show, Family Feuds, just a really quick description. Basically, a young man falls in love with a girl who is poor and of unknown parentage. The boy's father is against the match. The uncle tries to force the girl into the convent, and the boy's sister eventually hides the girl. However, though, the whole climax of the show is when the father finally discovers that the girl is actually the uncle's daughter, and that is his niece, and he's okay with his son marrying her now.
Because it's his cousin? How is that?
Because they know. No, because they know who her parents are.
Is there anything more American? Actually, you know what? Yes. That is actually, it's also such a fucking holdover from the what am I thinking? Like the royalist type of stuff where it's like, oh well, because you're cousins, that means it's fine for us to breed because inbreeding is absolutely great and doesn't cause any problems at all.
Well, to be fair, okay, so this is called Family Feuds, but it is a French play. So, I don't know if that means anything. Le Palais de Famille.
I blame them.
Yes, so it's just a whole whirlwind of a show. The Bleeding Nun, which was the second show, is not much better. So, it was basically a show about a monk having impure thoughts about everyone around him.
Cool.
Yeah. So, as I said, these double show night took place on December 26th, which was obviously very close to Christmas time, the day after Christmas. And so the auditorium was packed with 598 people, 518 which were adults, 80 of which were children. And that was about 6% of the population at the time.
I'm actually surprised that there wasn't a higher number of children.
Yeah, you would think 80.
So, like, especially with trying to find something for your kids to do, like around Christmas time.
It is only 1811, though. Most of the kids probably died. I don't know. Children mortality rate was low.
There we go. Who knows?
Anyway, So, question, like I said, 598 people, so essentially 600 people.
Mm.
How much over capacity do you think that was for this Richmond theater?
Well, because you said it, but I thought you said it held like 1,600.
That was the first theater. We're on the
Oh, that was
second
the
one.
first. Oh, okay. Well, let's see. Since it's clearly you said it's over capacity, so I'm gonna guess it's at least 200 over capacity.
Yeah, so actually, yeah, that's actually is that right? I wrote 20% over capacity. Why are you making us do
You're asking the
math?
wrong people.
600. No, it'd be like 150 people. So close enough.
Yuck. So I'm close enough because
Yeah,
math.
you're close enough. Math. This isn't a math podcast.
So there, I was kind of right, basically.
Mhm. So, as we can guess, a disaster was going to take place. So, no. The disaster being that everybody had a fantastic time and went home and was happy. Nope, not the case.
Oh boy.
So, if you hadn't guessed already, a fire took place. The fire broke out during the second show, right after the end of the first act. So essentially, imagine, intermission, the curtain closes. That's when the fire is going to start. It started because I love this because we made so much fun of this kid the first time around. A boy worker or a child worker basically lifted the chandelier that was over the stage and was pulling it, out and taking it out essentially. However, the chandelier was still lit. The lamp or the chandelier became entangled in cords and it swung and hit some scenery and caught it on fire.
Yes, this part I do remember, but because I also want to kind of side note that for people that are wondering, like, what a chandelier, fire. Because back then we obviously, because as Jill always says, electricity wasn't invented until the
1940. At least with this one, it's right. I mean, it's 1811.
But that also means they wouldn't have even had gaslight yet. So that would have been straight up a chandelier that was candles and just straight up fire. And in order to get that out of the scene, you got to put it somewhere. And I guess that's up into the rafters where it goes with all the other ropes. And when you've got fucking child laborers doing your scenic changes,
right?
I feel like we shouldn't blame the child.
Right. However, though, we will blame the child on this one because I just love the fact that he's labeled as the boy worker. So the boy worker who was operating the cords and saw the flames immediately then fled the building.
I mean, I would. Because I'm imagining like an 8-year-old boy just being like, fire.
Bye-bye. Yeah. I think that that's basically correct. So essentially, as I was saying, the chandelier got entangled, it swung into some scenery, set it on fire, and the flames began to rise up and spread all the way through the fly gallery and literally was just bouncing from one set piece to the next. There were only 34 drops hanging up there at the time that, of course, were painted with oil on hemp canvas. So just
which was the style at the time.
But it also was a big old fire hazard. Right? So in addition to those 34 hanging drops, there are also tons of borders and outlines of buildings and skies and set pieces that also caught on fire. The pine planks that were fixed over the rafters up on the ceiling also then caught fire, so therefore the ceiling caught fire. The impact of this
are made of wood, I would imagine fire make easy.
What? No. So the impact of the fire obviously was pretty bad because the curtain was blocking all of this. So basically none of the audience members saw it. And on top of that, the act had just ended. So all of the actors had also left the stage. So basically this is why this boy worker is like the only one who saw this happen and was like, bye. So the theater did have multiple exits. However, there was most of them were not known very well. So a little known side door was at least used by the orchestra and the backstage crew. So they actually were able to get out pretty well. However, the upper balcony exit was not as well known for the audience members. So in the panic of the fire, many people pushed and fell and were unable to escape. The patrons, who also sat in 2 levels of raised boxes, were forced to exit down a single narrow winding staircase, which eventually collapsed. So, yeah. Jedediah Allen, a patron who was nearby at the time, recalls, quote, "All those that fell with the staircase must have nearly expired with the smoke at the time, as it was extremely severe. I heard neither a sigh nor a groan utter as it fell."
I mean, you kind of go, okay, maybe that's good because then they didn't suffer. So maybe, like this sounds horrible, but like you have to hope that maybe they just died of smoke inhalation and just like went to sleep quietly and didn't
as
know.
the staircase collapsed.
Like,
yes.
Fuck.
Yep. So the easiest way to basically get out of the theater now was jumping out of windows.
Yep.
However, naturally, there were going to be many people who were afraid to jump, so therefore it became extremely clogged. There were 2 men, however, that are credited for extreme heroism during that time, one of which was Gilbert Hunt, who was a former slave who purchased his freedom and was working as a blacksmith near the theater. A man named Dr. James McCall, who was a physician attending the theater that evening, was also in the building, and basically McCall was lowering people from the windows and then Hunt was catching them.
God. That's just amazing.
That
part I do remember. That's amazing.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. McCall himself actually recalls him calling down to Hunt to basically catch ladies and hand them down, and they were able to save over a dozen women until the flames forced McCall to jump from the building himself.
Jesus God.
So
they did what they could. So good for them, man. That's fuck. That's ballsy.
Yeah. So, surprisingly, the death toll was not as bad as you think it would be. More people got out than you think. It was 72 people who died.
Whew, okay. Yeah, that's a lot less than I would have thought.
Yeah. I
For
mean, what is that?
Was that packed?
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's
that
still
amount
over
of like carnage, you know? Like
I mean, that's still over 10%, but yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, considering some of the other ones we've covered, like that's next to nothing, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, this is when we said that we wanted to make a calendar of like all the disasters and everything.
Oh my God, that's right.
I still need to do that. I'm going to do that at some point.
Yes.
So yeah, so 72 people died in the fire. 54 were women, 18 were men, and one of the people among the victims was Virginia's sitting governor, George William Smith.
Ooh.
So the theater itself wasn't blamed for the accident. Instead, it was inferior design that was considered for the reason. But also, it's 1811. It's just gonna fucking burn down.
But also, like, wait, the theater wasn't responsible?
No, the boy child was.
Damn child.
Okay, so quick little quote is the theater, despite having been constructed out of brick, was reduced to nothing more than a few blackened, crumbled walls surrounded by mounds of charred bodies, bone fragments, and smoking timbers, according to a scholar, Meredith Baker. She guessed that the fire reached temperatures of more than 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and as a result, most of the bodies were unidentifiable, and only through patches of clothing or jewelry or types of relics could they figure out who was who.
Good God. Oh, God, that's horrible.
Yeah. They decided to not rebuild, and a monumental church sits in its place today.
Probably a good call.
However, it does not end there. There is a third Richmond Theater.
Hey,
and the third Richmond Theater was also going to be known as the Richmond Theater and was built in 1819, literally across the street.
I'm pretty sure this is when we recorded last time is where I brought up the Monty Python quote.
Yes, that's exactly right.
The castle. It's like, well, the first castle, that sank into the swamp. So we built a second castle. That sank into the swamp. So we built a third castle. That burned down, fell over, then sank into the swamp. But the fourth one stayed up.
Precisely. Well, and even better for this theater, like I said, they built it across the street and they literally made it a publicly known fact that their theater was not going to burn down.
I mean, that's bold.
It's
I
very
feel like
bold.
you can't really tell the future.
No, exactly. It is a
So
bold thing. But they did provide adequate doors for people to escape in a case of an
Oh.
emergency situation.
What? Fire regulations? Who knew?
It's incredible. So
There's a
the theater
ruckus behind me and I don't know what is happening.
puppies being puppies.
It's dog related, I'm sure.
Yeah. So the theater had many, many ups and downs throughout the years. This one actually did stay around for a little bit longer than the first two, and was eventually renamed the Marshall Theater in 1838. The Marshall Theater during this period started to do staged works with lots of well-known American actors at the time, including the Booth brothers.
Both of them.
Both of them. So both
Oh,
Edwin
shit.
and John Wilkes Booth performed at this theater.
I mean, I guess they are both from Virginia, so.
hmm And as I hope everybody knows, John Wilkes Booth is the person who assassinated Abraham Lincoln. So,
Piece of shit.
but they both became permanent company members of the Marshall Theater in 1858. The brother Edwin, who was 5 years older and was a little bit of the more
And he's
well-known
the better
actor,
one.
and yeah, exactly, the better one.
And not the shitbag.
Yeah, exactly. Played most of the title roles in tragedies such as Richard III, King Lear, and Henry IV. Together, together, the Booth brothers starred in many, many Shakespeare plays over the time. Both of them were seen together in Hamlet, with Edwin as the title role and John Wilkes as Horatio.
That's fascinating.
Right? I think that's kind of cute.
Because yeah, Edwin, I'm sure I've said this in other episodes, but Edwin, I think, might still hold the record for the most sequential number of performances as Hamlet, like ever.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that because we've talked about them a couple of times. Because obviously, I did the Ford Theater, which is where Abraham Lincoln got assassinated, and then I don't remember what yours was, but you talked about a theater where he performed a whole bunch. I feel like it was one in Georgia or something, like Drury Lane, or not Drury Lane. Yeah. Anyway, either way, we've talked about them quite a bit. So a Richmond-based sculptor actually made a bust of Edwin Booth to go into the theater in 1858, and then John Wilkes became a shitbag and hated everybody because of that.
On that,
he
John.
wanted a bust too.
But see, you suck, friend, so you may not have one.
Wait, I want a bust.
I'm an actor too.
What a baby. What a little bitch. We can say that because he killed our best president.
Yep. Stuck it big time.
Yeah. So in 1861, composer and playwright John Hewitt became the manager of the theater and started to make quite a bit changes in the theater. However, though, just 2 months later, in January of 1862, a fire broke out. It burned to the ground. It sure did. So luckily, no one was in the theater except for the owner, Hewitt, and actor Richard were both asleep in the theater when the fire broke out, and they both managed to escape with their lives and only suffered minor burns. So,
also, why are you sleeping in the theater? I mean, I shouldn't ask that because we've all done that, but
because they were lovers.
Oh shit!
I don't know. That's what I would like to say.
I think so. That would make a lot of sense.
They had to go in there so they could kiss each other. like, sorry, really quick. Have you seen that joke where it's the girl being like, you know why in senses, like in emergencies, women and children go first? It's so the men can stay behind and kiss each other. Oh, man. So yeah.
I love it.
So yeah, so this is the third Richmond theater to burn down. Like I said, luckily this one didn't have as many casualties. However, it did take out a lot of the surrounding businesses and houses in the area. So it was a big ass fire. And guess what? They built another one. So we are now on the new Richmond Theater, which is theater number 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, I can count.
Yeah. Theater number 4, which opened in 1863 on the exact same spot.
Hello.
So the new Richmond Theater, luckily had a little bit of an easier history, but not as much, because it was very, very busy and a cultural center during the American Civil War and was a center for the Confederacy.
Well, I changed my mind. I hate it.
Yeah, I know. However, though, it wasn't like a meeting house. They still did theater entertainment. It was just for the Southern War effort.
Okay. Well, no, still sucks. Still suck a dick. Everybody go.
So the theater entertainment was viewed as an essential support for the Southern War effort, and many well-known actors, musicians, and other entertainers were often seen in this theater all the way up until the end of the war. Military efforts essentially in Richmond put an end to a lot of staging and a lot of plays during that period. However, it did not shut down this theater, and it was one of the only remaining ones during the war. At the time of Richmond's surrender on April 2nd in 1865, the theater was being occupied by Bud and Buckley's minstrels and brass band.
Not better.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if you want to talk about minstrels again, but minstrels are just no good.
God. It's
basically what it's people doing. It's basically people doing blackface.
Yeah, it's the stereotype of white people doing blackface in order to make fun of Black Americans.
Exactly.
But the only good thing I can say about it is that at some point in the late 19th century, it was actually taken back over by Black Americans so that they were like, actually, how about we have some representation on stage that's us doing it? And we can actually give you the not fucking stereotype version of what it's like to be a Black American. So
yeah. So
kudos to that.
Got some rich history there. So but yeah, so that's what was going on while the theater was literally in the middle of the war. So luckily this theater did not burn down. However, it was closed March of 1895 and was sold to a man who turned it into a clothing factory. And it was quickly though closed down and was demolished in 1896.
Oh. Well,
and that is the story of 4 Richmond theaters, none of which stand now. They didn't even make it to the 1900s.
Jesus Christ. Well, can't win them all.
You see why I was okay with redoing this one?
Yeah, that's such a good one. It's such a good one. Oh my God.
I just like the fact that none of them, like, there's nothing.
It's like, well, let's just cut our losses at this point. But you know what we should do? Build the same thing here again.
Again and again.
I promise it won't burn down.
I promise it won't burn down, and then it burns down.
I promise.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, that's my story.
It's a round of applause.
A round of applause. What a theatery thing. Are you like in theater or whatever?
No. Actually, Jess does that to me all the time.
Oh, really? Oh, that's actually very cute. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. I guess it's my turn to dive into some spooky ookies.
Spooky ookie time.
Yeah. All right. This is a quick one, but it is pretty good. I also like the history of this one. So We are jumping over to the Old Globe in San Diego, California. Not to be confused with any of the other Old Globes or globes elsewhere.
But the one in San Diego is definitely like the most famous, I think.
Yeah, I think
I mean, aside from the original
Globe. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Have you ever been there? Really quick.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Okay, I've been there. It's very cool.
Ooh.
I went there during the pandemic, so nothing was happening, but I saw it from afar and was like, ooh. Anyway.
Yeah, and pretty. I like the pictures.
I love the pictures. No yawning. Yeah. We still got another one to do after this.
Oh my god. I'm fine. I probably just need more one.
So,
the Old Globe in San Diego is a professional theater located in Balboa Park area of San Diego. It was originally built in 1935 for the California Pacific International Exposition. So when you think of like, probably.
Sorry, keep going.
So when you think of like the international expositions, you think of like a World's Fair type of thing. That's what it was like. The theater was based on a copy of one built for the Chicago Century of Progress, which, again, another like exposition, which was itself in turn a copy of the Globe Theatre in London, England, Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. So during the exposition, the original one in 1935, it hosted 50-minute versions of Shakespeare's plays. At the end of the expo, it had been so well received, let's say it that way, that a nonprofit organization called the San Diego Community Theater was formed to save the temporary structure from demolition. So this was just built to be like a temporary thing of like, hooray, expo for this thing. But they're like, it's really cool, so we're just going to keep it. The committee leased the structure from the city and then produced full-length plays and created a more permanent structure by roofing over the theater and bringing it up to code. So for those of you who don't know, roofing over the theater in my mind says that's not the Globe anymore, because the Globe, like as a rule, is an open-air public theater. Like that's why it was built that way. Anyway, whatever.
Yeah, the Utah Shakespeare one, that one is, that one's open.
It's an open air, it's a public theater, right? Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of fun. So
like, yeah, because you had to have sunlight to light it because I don't know if you know this, but electricity wasn't invented until
1940. You know what? You keep talking.
Not be funny to me.
I need to look up when electricity was invented and put it on my wall.
Absolutely not. And never want to know, because it's far too funny to not say it that way.
All right. Not looking it up.
We're gonna get so much hate mail. We're correct. No, we know we're not right, but it's too funny to not keep doing it. So,
you know what? It's called confidence.
Confidence and wine. Or one of the bands that the band names that Jill and I came up with, which I don't know if we've told this story about how we were able to get such good seats for not for for Moulin Rouge, was with a gung-ho attitude and
divine intervention. I have that saved on my phone in my notes.
It's under my band names. Yep. That should be on our next shirt.
Ooh, okay.
Gung-ho attitude and divine intervention.
Writing it down. I'm gonna put it on a mug.
So anyway, the Old Globe. Oh my God. So then the Globe Players, which was founded by Thomas Wood Stevens, began by producing abridged adaptations of Shakespeare plays in the Globe to attract tourists in the San Diego area, with most of the plays lasting less than an hour, which is, again, kind of what they did originally during the expo, where it had like the 50-minute versions of Shakespeare's plays. And then Craig Knoll became the Globe's second director, playing a major role in its development. And under his direction, the Globe would win a Tony Award and become the first professional actors equity theater on the West Coast. And then in 1949, he launched the Globe's Summer Shakespeare Festival in partnership with the drama department at University of San Diego. And since then, the Shakespeare Festival has been presented every single summer since 1949. except for in 1953 when Knoll produced a show independently. We don't talk about that. But the Globe continued to produce. It was just a shitty one-off show that didn't do very well.
No, that's
the
fine.
Globe
I was going to say 2020.
Right? No, actually.
Yeah.
It didn't mention that, but I'm sure that's probably partially true. The Globe continued to produce a combination of modern plays along with Shakespeare and other classics all the way through. And then this is where kind of weird shit starts happening. So in March of 1978, the Globe Theater was destroyed by an arson fire, and an outdoor festival stage was hastily constructed so that the 1978 season could still be produced outside. And then, so because of that, an outdoor stage was built just for the National Shakespeare Festival to continue.
Okay.
The arsonist,
arson, who did it?
Right. It gets weirder.
Okay.
The arsonist, or possibly plural, were unfortunately never apprehended, and the case is still unsolved. And then in 1984, so however many years after that is, another arson fire burned down the festival stage again.
Damn,
and
San
again,
Diego, what are you doing?
Just that fucking festival stage. And again, arsonist has never been caught.
Damn.
Yeah. But fortunately,
the
Old Globe has and did have enough support from fans and endowments that they've been able to rebuild and continue growing and developing. So, here's some cool stuff. So, the Globe boasts a large number of impressive associate artists, including people like Patrick Page, Tova Feldsha, a long list of like really, really great artists. And though they were originally, of course, known for their stagings of Shakespeare works, their current programming for 2025 only has 2 Shakespeare pieces on the roster, which are All's Well That Ends Well and Comedy of Errors. So they do quite a few like world premieres, regional premieres, another kind of like a grab bag of styles and genres. So they kind of cover everything, but they still do at least once or twice a year, they still do some Shakespeare works.
Right.
Other cool things is that here are some shows that originated at the Old Globe who have gone on to Broadway and have won 9 Tony Awards and nearly 60 nominations, including. So these are shows that originally started at the Old Globe and then eventually went to Broadway. Into the Woods, Rumors, Joe Turner's Come and Gone, and Two Trains Running, which are both August Wilson plays. Redwood Curtain, Damn Yankees, Dirt and Rotten Scoundrels, Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. So that's not the full list.
Damn.
Yeah. So the Old Globe is one of the country's leading regional theater complexes and California's oldest professional theater. And it is San Diego's largest theater organization. It features diverse programming, commitment to both classic and contemporary works, produces and presents 15 productions and nearly 600 performances on its 3 Balboa Park stages. So 2 of those stages are located in the Conrad Prebys Theater and the Donald and Darlene Shiley stage in the 580-seat Old Globe Theater and the 250-seat Cheryl and Harvey White Theater.
Yeah, it's a super pretty area. You should go at some point. Like it's literally, it's in the center of the park. Like I remember we went to San Diego to do some scuba diving during 2020 when everything was shut down. And so it's like, well, you don't go into buildings, so let's walk around the park. And then all of a sudden it was just like there. And it was so pretty and like just like has like this beautiful like outside courtyard and everything. It was it's a super cool area. And that park itself is massive and really pretty. So
the only other theater I didn't mention, which is the outdoor venue, is the 620-seat Lowell Davies Festival Theater. So that's the outdoor venue, and that's where they do the Summer Shakespeare Festival.
Right.
And so, all of that wonderful history aside, it is time for spooky cookies.
Spooky cookies!
Spooky cookies time. I'm actually going to start with some tragedies that I found that are linked to the Globe by the people that were involved. So I discovered the deaths of 2 former Globe employees. In 1985, actor David Huffman, who had been in the Old Globe's production of Mice and Men, this is so fucked up, but so a little bit of warning here. He was murdered by a 16-year-old who he'd been chasing after he saw the kid try to burglarize another car. they became involved in a physical altercation, and the kid stabbed him with a screwdriver.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then after that, and then in 2014, props master Seamus O'Brien was killed in a hit and run car accident.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
Okay.
I've got a couple little quick stories about some spooky times.
Nice.
So Bear Garcia worked security at the Old Globe Theater for 17 years. She's often the last person in the theater late at night, locking up, of course. Even though she's in an empty theater at that point, she says it doesn't always feel like it. She says, in certain pockets, in certain places, you feel a presence like someone's watching you. One night at about midnight, she was doing paperwork and heard, quote unquote, one of those noises. She says, all of a sudden, I hear this woman's laughter. It was kind of a playful yet creepy laughter.
Oh. Ew, I don't like that.
Yeah. She said she thought an actor had come back into the theater. She checked, didn't find anyone, so she went back to work. And the next thing you know, she heard it again. This time it gave me goosebumps, and I came on stage just to check again, and it was ice cold.
Ooh.
I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yucky.
And then this one I found from a user on Reddit, which I think is just a treasure trove of fun, like ghost theater
I know.
stories.
Sometimes you get some good stuff.
Yes, this is a good one. I love this. One user said, my ex-wife used to work as a dresser at the Old Globe. She's usually one of the last to leave after a performance. There were always stories of old actors still haunting the Globe, and one of them was thought to be an old character actor named Victor Buono. And I actually looked him up. He was a big name actor, like character actor.
Mm-hmm.
One night she was closing up the dressing rooms for the night. She started to close the door when the faucet to a nearby sink suddenly turned on full blast. She was tired and wanted to go home, so she literally shouts, "Stop fucking around, Victor. I'm exhausted." And the faucet immediately turns off.
Oh, I love that. Like,
So I love that. Like, but there are of course some people that would say that because of their connections to the Globe, O'Brien and Huffman, who are the ones that were unfortunately killed earlier on, that maybe they're part of the goings on at night, and maybe they're just trying to keep in touch with their fellow artists. That's what I like to think. That they're like, they had such great connections to this place that, I mean, Seamus O'Brien was the props master for a really long time there.
Mm-hmm.
When you work at a place like that for so long, you have such a deep connection to something like that. Like it's the thing that we talk about all the time of like, what theater would you want to haunt? Yes. I would want to haunt the place that I've enjoyed for so long. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it
maybe
makes sense.
At this point, NC State Theater, at the Titmus Theater, or maybe Stewart, or maybe Studio, the whole building would be the place that I would probably end up haunting. So I would hang out with them. We have to find some place to haunt together, though. That's the thing. Like we have to,
Fine, if you want to haunt there, that's fine.
No, we should. Oh, you know what? Let's haunt the Estates Theater in Prague together. It's beautiful, and
once I go there,
great. Let's go.
Once I see it, yes, we can do that.
You'll love it. Even as a ghost, you'll love it.
I'm gonna be like, wow.
Okay. So there you go, the Old Globe in San Diego.
Very nice.
And now we have done it yet again.
Hopefully all the microphones are plugged in. I'm sure they are.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it right this time. I think maybe we did it right. That'd be really funny if we fucked it up again.
That's all right. We're not doing it again.
Like at this point, whatever. It is what it is.
Though. They were two very good stories that were worth hearing again. So I love it.
Yay.
Cool. Very good stories. Well,
this one.
Yes. Shall we pause and then go do another one?
And fill up our drinks.
I know. I wish I had some wine, but all I've got is a White Girl White Claw.
Could be worse.
I know. Actually, I really like White Claws.
Could be grain alcohol. I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. No, White Claws like hit correctly. There's a reason they became as popular as they did.
Yeah, because they're dangerous. Because they creep up on you. Watch out, white girls.
All right. Well,
thanks everybody, and
yes,
we'll be back soon.
Until next time, don't forget to leave the ghost light on. Thank you for joining us. Leave the Ghost Light On was created, hosted, and edited by Danica Jackson and Jill Horn.
Musical composition created by Jay Nygaard.
Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, and more.